Hey, it's Tracy from MomLife Today. Thanks for joining us, and we have another reader question this week. And today it's going to require me to do a little acting. Has this ever happened in your home? Ow! He bit me! My 3-year-old son just bit me, and that hurt. How do I get him not to do that?
Well, that is a really great question, because as mom and dad, you need to be in charge. Mom and dad have to win. And if you've got a child who is trying to control you in one way or the other, and in this case by biting, you've got to win, and you've got to let that 3-year-old know that that's unacceptable behavior. And in our family, biting was one of the things that was absolutely not allowed, as well as lying was another thing that was absolutely not allowed. And there were just a few things, we didn't have a lot, but we had a few things that were automatically disciplined for any time it happened. And biting was one of them. In fact, we started training our children not to bite when they were very, very young. And our method of discipline for biting, as well as for lying, was always a spanking. Now, I understand by saying that spanking is very controversial in our country today, because there are a lot of people who associate spanking with hitting, but they are not the same thing. Spanking is a controlled form of discipline for your child. It's a way to inflict a certain measured amount of pain so that your child associates what I just did hurt me, so therefore I don't want to do this again. So for us, we would spank our children, and for a 3-year-old, what we would do is we would spank them on the upper thigh with a wooden spoon, and we spanked them 2 times if they were 2 years old, 3 times if they were 3 years old. So if it was my 3-year-old and my 3-year-old bit me, that 3-year-old would be explained. I would put him on my lap and explain that in our family we do not bite. That is not how you get attention. If you want mommy and daddy's attention, you talk to me. You don't bite me. And because you bit, in our family we don't allow that. And so then I would explain that we're going to spank you and we don't want you to bite anymore. And we would spank him and then hug him and pray for him and help him understand that this was unacceptable behavior. And in our family with our kids, we really didn't have biting as an issue, because if you deal with it early on, quickly, then the kids understand that mom and dad mean what they say, and mom and dad are in charge, and this didn't get me what I wanted. Now, they may try something else when they're 4 or 5, but you need to win this one, and you need to let your 3-year-old know that that is unacceptable behavior in your family.
That was some great advice from Barbara on discipline, specifically how to get your child not to bite. We hope you'll join us next week on Mom Life Today, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, and have a great week. Bye.